All right, guys. So we got the Nvidia chart up. The Nvidia earnings call is supposed to start in about. Um, I'll have to look up exactly when it starts, but we're already registered for it. We're going to be dropping it live when it starts. Right now, we're currently waiting to see what the fourth quarter results, the fourth quarter results are going to be. So we're waiting to see when that they might. I think they're going to be dropping the third quarter results pretty soon. I'm reading a preview about the Nvidia results from, where is this from? This is from Wallace Witkowski with Dow Jones Newswires. The earnings preview. So strong data center results from Intel and AMD are a little bit foreshadowing potentially of Nvidia earnings, is what they're saying. So basically, strong data center results from Intel and AMD are having most analysts assuming that Nvidia is going to do well, and we might actually take a pre-earnings position here with Nvidia. Let's see what the range is here. Maybe like 10 shares, just to kind of swing trade this. We're holding it in our investment account too, but we're going to buy maybe 10 shares here, and try to ride this for a potential gain or loss. If Nvidia has good earnings, we should be okay. Let us know what you think, guys. Are you bullish or bearish on Nvidia? And Carol's going to be here pretty soon. Bear with me. What's up, Pawn? And so we're in a small position of Nvidia now. You can see Nvidia is moving up. Here's a 30-minute chart if you want to see a different view of Nvidia here. Bullish. They usually have very good earnings. I bought 10 shares. Long looks good. Yeah, me too, PF. Just YOLO, the call option. Wish me luck. My 3 million in the air. Hey, guys, if you want to help support the channel, hit the subscribe button. We do this live every day for free. We drop all the major earnings releases, and we stream most of the major earnings calls as long as it's a relevant one and it's not some obscure stock. Yesterday we had Airbnb. A few days ago we had Affirm, Disney, Amazon. So just don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Definitely appreciate it. Nvidia is pushing up right now. So our position that we took with 10 shares is already up a little amount here. So we're happy with that for sure. But I think we're going to continue to just hold this and then just be very, very careful as the earnings are released so that we can potentially ride the earnings wave up, hopefully, and if not, we'll cut it quick. AMD, Intel, MU, they've all been doing pretty well in this current market. And so you can see Nvidia is actually pushing up, breaking the pre-market high. It's at 268.30s. We're still waiting for the earnings to drop now. Hey, thank you, Kyle. Hey, thank you, brother. I'm going to go see where Carol's at. I'll be right back. Let me know what you think. Vote on the poll right now. Are you bullish or bearish on Nvidia? 93% are saying bull, 8% are saying bear. So if that's a judge of sentiment and, bias, then I think Nvidia will be okay. But yeah, I'll be right back. All right, guys. So she'll be here in like 2 minutes. I don't know about AFRN. Let me know what you think about it. But yeah, hopefully this trade goes out well. I mean, we'll see what happens. We're holding 10 shares, big range though. I mean, just in pre-market today, Nvidia has a range of like, what is that? $5, $6, $7, $3 a share. So, Nvidia has moved $3 a share. More than that, actually, if you count this wick, which I'm not sure if we should, might be a glitch, but if we count this, where we have a range of about $6.50 per share. So a pretty big range for Nvidia. Again, let me know what you think is going to happen with Nvidia in the chat. Waiting on the earnings release. Scheduled for after hours. We're waiting on the Nvidia earnings release. It's scheduled for after hours, and we'll drop all the major numbers as we get them. So bear with me. Dash popped. Yeah, we'll look at a few other things in pre-market, but we're mostly looking at Nvidia right now. Well, we can take a look at some other ones. If you have anything else you want me to look at, let me know. Yeah, DoorDash is ripping up here. Look at Dash just to show you. DoorDash flying over the triple-digit level at 100 up to 118. Let's look at the 1-minute chart for Dash. Yeah, Dash is ripping right now. Again, we're waiting for the Nvidia earnings. They should be dropping pretty soon. I think. And so we'll see what happens. Wait, where's my drink? There it is. But yeah, look at Dash. Dash, I'm assuming had good results. DoorDash. We'll see what the numbers actually were here. I'll read these out. Dash posts fourth quarter revenue of 1.3 billion versus analyst consensus of 1.28, so higher than expected fourth quarter revenue for DoorDash. They put in fourth quarter marketable gross order value of 11.15 billion versus the 10.65 billion estimate and analyst expectation. So better than expected fourth quarter marketplace gross orders and fourth quarter revenue for DoorDash, and so that's what's going on for DoorDash. Better than expected results on that front. And again, we're still watching Nvidia here. We'll put a 30-minute chart up so we can kind of see both sides of it, the longer outlook and the shorter term view. Yeah, we'll see what happens with Nvidia. I feel it's going to fly. Yeah, we'll see, Ivan. 420, I heard. Okay, well, we got 4 minutes until 420. Everybody's favorite number, I guess. All right, so Nvidia up there, 267s, 59s. We'll see what we get. Well, the earnings call is scheduled on their investor relations website. There's a lot of resources you can use to get the earnings. Some are faster, some are slower. But again, DoorDash dropped some numbers. We're still waiting on Nvidia numbers to come out. Upstart is up 33% on fourth quarter results. Yeah, Dash is flying up, guys. Look at Dash here. Dash is ripping up big. Up to 118.75. Look at DoorDash. Man, should have bought that dip instead because that one is flying up. Marius is already in 117. And again, vote on the poll right now. We got 195 votes on the poll already. Are you bullish or bearish on Nvidia? 90% are saying bull, 10% are saying bear, and Nvidia is strong. We got into a starter position here. And again, we're holding it in our investment account as well, but we got a small position just for a shorter term trade. I don't usually bet on earnings because I think sometimes a stock can have good earnings and crash, and a stock can have bad earnings and fly up. And so it's not usually a very safe bet. But I think under specific circumstances, when you have a bullish or bearish view on the whole sector, I'm bullish on the microchip sector. And even if I lose, we're still good. We've got a cushion on the day from profits earlier from when we were trading this morning live on YouTube as well. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with Nvidia. We're watching us at 276, 267, 60s. DoorDash is finally pulling back some, and we'll see what happens. Let me know what other stocks you want us to take a look at while we're waiting for the DoorDash numbers. A lot of people are speculating that they're going to drop at 420, which is in 2 minutes. So we'll see. Events platform on their site says lobby will be open. Yeah, for sure. All right, you're here. Oh, you're drinking one of these. Those are honestly really good, to be honest. Yeah. Here. You want to sit over there?
Yeah, you're going to have to scoot.
All right. All right, but yeah, Nvidia up to 267 80s right now, so we'll see. I mean, you could put light, but I don't think we necessarily need it. 420 release is lit. Results not lit. Everybody's favorite number.
Hey everyone, how's it going?
Nvidia to 200. Again, let me know what you like about Nvidia. Bullish or bearish? Vote on the poll right now. Poll already got 241 votes. 89% are saying bull. 11% are saying bear. which is probably the biggest margin of difference between these two that I've ever seen on one of my polls. I don't think I've ever said anything where we had this many bulls in here. 420 started at my high school. Well, I don't know about that. Possibly, but I don't know, man. But all right, Nvidia up there. It could happen, but I don't know if you started it, bro. That's been going around for a long time, dude.
Yeah.
A lot of different places, I think, too.
Yeah, I remember that from.
I'm bullish. Oh, I thought you were saying mwahaha NASCAR. I voted bearish because I always fight the trend relentlessly most of the time to my loss. All right, there goes Nvidia numbers here. So we got Nvidia numbers. We're going to post them in the chat. They announced fourth quarter fiscal year results, and we have this flying. So we're going to post them in the chat. Oh my goodness, that's the worst case scenario for my trade.
What? We win.
Oh no. Whew, okay, I only lost $95 on that trade. It could have been way worse. I bought the dip, so I added a little bit more in the pullback, and I bought the dip. But man, Nvidia just crashed down. Look at this. So we do have numbers that are out. Let me explain the numbers real quick. But Nvidia, huge drop, monster drop right now. And the reason it's down is because Nvidia's numbers they put an adjusted fourth quarter EPS of $1.22, which beat the $1.32, which beat the $1.22 profit EPS estimate. I'll post it in the chat right now. So here's the first numbers that dropped. Fourth quarter adjusted EPS. We also are showing that they posted first quarter revenue of $8.1 billion versus $7.29 billion estimate. So higher than expected numbers. I'm not sure why we're dropping. Maybe I should have held my position. I guess I could add right back, but man, Nvidia breaking highs. Yeah, better than expected numbers, to be honest. Better than expected numbers. So Nvidia first quarter revenue of 8.1 billion versus 7.29 billion estimate. So overall, the numbers have been pretty solid. Nvidia fourth quarter adjusted EPS of $1.32 beat the 122 estimate. Sales of 7.64 billion, which beat the 7.42 billion estimate. Nvidia first quarter revenue of 8.1 billion, which beat the 7.29 billion estimate. So all around, it had much better. Yeah, it didn't have much better, but it had better than expected numbers. Yeah, it's all good. Luckily, I was green on the day prior to that trade, so we're still okay. But man, it could have been really bad. At one point, I was down a lot. And so, lesson learned: don't ever. I'm holding Nvidia in my investment account long term, but like short term, betting on earnings is always a risk, and you got to be ready to take the risk. Yeah, so EPS, which is earnings per share. Now, I explained this before. EPS, so just so you know, EPS is the gauge on how profitable the company actually is, right?
Okay.
So it's earnings per share, but what it really is a gauge on how profitable the company is. So a higher EPS, which means a company was more profitable in that specific quarter. A lower EPS or a negative EPS means the company wasn't as profitable or wasn't profitable at all. And so EPS is a judge of how healthy a company is in terms of how whether they're profitable or not. And so that's why EPS is important. It's basically how profitable a company is. A company with a higher earnings per share is more profitable. A company with a lower earnings per share is less profitable. And it's an important metric for trading for sure. And, again, we're still reading these results from Benzinga. Still waiting to see a little bit more results here. Again, we saw first quarter revenue beat. Fourth quarter adjusted EPS beat. So, overall good numbers. Let's see if we can find anything else. Yeah, better than expected revenue. Fourth quarter net is 3 billion. Fourth quarter net revenue is 3 billion. And so, yeah, we're dropping now. So here's the numbers right now. These are the full numbers. Listening while I was driving, I was expecting more than that. I think you can subscribe for emails. ER trading very rough, yeah, for sure. Tesla had great earnings and dropped 10% the next day, yeah, for sure. Why it's still dropping? I have no idea, to be honest. It had better than expected numbers, and that's regardless of what it was year over year, it had better than expected numbers. So it's actually weird that we're dropping. And see, baby, look, this is why you never bet on earnings. Like stock can have good earnings beat expectations, right? It doesn't even matter if you have Bloomberg Terminal and you're getting this instantly. A stock can have good earnings and tank huge amounts. So, and this is kind of what's going on with Nvidia. It's one of the reasons like a lot of new traders get involved with trading and they think you can just bet. You can just wait for the earnings to come out and bet in that direction. And I think this is kind of showing that's not really the right way to do it. Yeah, it's counterintuitive to what you would think happens. The stock should be rocketing. It's not a perfect system, the stock market, and we'll see. But yeah. This could have been priced in. I think B Oliphant is correct, where it could have been priced in. You know, a lot of traders are front loading ahead of earnings. And so that is certainly a possibility in terms of like what's going on. But, you know, it's still a weird thing to witness, to be honest, because, you know, and I've learned this lesson already, but it's just a weird thing to listen or to see. What's the guidance? We're still waiting on all those numbers to come out. Let me see if we can find any more details. All right, so here's the form statement. All I'm seeing is non-GAAP. Okay, so here's some more numbers I dropped. But it's still, they're better than expected here. And we're going to put them all across the bottoms of the screen. They are better than expected. Are you buying the dip?
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. It's kind of how it goes, you know.
Look, it's...
All right, so rolling across the screen is going to be Nvidia's full numbers. It'll rise. Tomorrow, guidance is way up. I'm waiting for under 200. It's all about guidance now. Was up so much yesterday, I had a feeling, but still up over the last couple of days, so I think it's priced in. Yeah, I mean, in the grand scheme of Nvidia, I don't think this move is super significant. I think that when we look at Nvidia long term, I think microchip stocks have done incredibly well in the last year, in the last 52 weeks. And so I think Nvidia on the dip with the entire broader market, I think it looks pretty strong. I like the long-term chart, and I think Nvidia will probably be fine. Now, of course, I can't guarantee anything. I have no idea what Nvidia ultimately will do, but we're gonna wait until the earnings call today and see what happens. But yeah, right now,
when does that come out?
the earnings call is going to be, we're waiting for it now. It's in 45 minutes. So yeah.
Anything else coming out?
Yeah, there's a bunch of DoorDash just dropped. So here's DoorDash, or it's Dash. So DoorDash dropped better than expected numbers, and it did what it was supposed to, which is go up. Any, which I believe is a crypto stock, is running a little bit prior to the close. Hook didn't do much today. CSCW, which I can't remember what this is. I can't remember the name of the company, but Eddie still has a shot. I mean, Nvidia still has a chance to be fine. I don't think this is super severe. It is a drop. It's not really what you wanted to see, but I mean, if we get over the VWAP and we get over 264.95s, I mean, we'll be okay. I think it'll still be fine. I have about 10,000 into Nvidia and AMD calls. What's the expiration, Omar? Good luck with that, brother. I really hope we start seeing more manufacturing coming home, especially tech. I'm very bullish if 260 holds the next few days. Why is Nvidia down on this? Not sure why it's down. Yeah, I really don't know. It had better than expected numbers. We're still waiting on the guidance to drop. Let me see what that is. Okay, so we have a little bit more data here. So this is a lot of data for me to go over. So just bear with me because this is a lot of data for me to go over. Nvidia fourth quarter personal visualization revenue came in at 643 million versus the Visible Alpha consensus of 579.6 million. Auto and robotics revenue at 125 million versus the estimates of 140 million. So auto and robotics revenue came in a little bit lower than the estimates. It came in at 125 million versus in revenue versus the 140.4 million estimate. So again, auto and robotics revenue came in a little bit lower. Fourth quarter personal visualization revenue came in higher than expected at 643 million versus the visible alpha consensus of 579.6 million. Fourth quarter gaming revenue came in at 3.42 billion versus the consensus estimate of 3.35 billion. So a little bit higher than expected fourth quarter gaming revenue as well. Data center revenue came in at 3.26 billion versus 3.16 billion estimate. So again, data center revenue came in higher than expected as well. It's honestly kind of weird how Nvidia is down like this on these good results. Everybody was baked in, I guess, but everything except for auto and robotics revenue that I've seen so far was better than expected. They saw first quarter GAAP OPR expenses come in at 3.55 billion, including ARM write-off. So yeah, I mean, mostly better than expected from what I'm seeing. They're going to record a 1.36 billion change in the first quarter fiscal year 23 to reflect ARM LTD write-off. And again, we're still waiting on the Nvidia.
Someone mentioned the Kramer effect, and I had to look it up because I mean,
the Kramer basically means no matter what Kramer said, Kramer's gonna. It basically means
that is
whatever Kramer says, it's gonna do the opposite.
No, well, look.
Let me see. Is that what it means?
Look,
no.
Look, it says the Kramer bounce refers to an increase in a stock's price after it has been mentioned favorably on Jim Cramer's show Mad Money. The Kramer effect. So like he
yeah, but Nvidia is down. So, and yeah, Nvidia is down though is the problem. It's like if he mentions it on Mad Money and it goes up, I don't know if that's the case here because it had good numbers and came down.
It says that research has shown that an average of a 3% increase in price due to the Kramer bounce.
Right.
But the effect is short-lived.
Right. I mean, you got to think about it like this. Okay, stocks moving up and down are all based off of buys and sells. Right, the more buyers that step into a specific stock, the higher the stock will go. You know, and there's a lot of other things to consider, like the float size, how many shares are out there, basically, how much, you know, how significant is the move relative to the share count. And but every time Kramer mentions a stock on his show, you got a certain percentage, and I'm sure it's a small percentage, but it's still a certain percentage of people that buy off of Kramer's picks. So Kramer says, hey, I like whatever, and they end up buying it. And so more buys step in, and thus the stock bounces, you know? And so that's just a normal part of the stock market. You see it all the time. You see it in penny stocks a lot they have these gurus that will influence low float penny stocks. So it's like it's even worse when a stock only has like 1 million shares that are out there, like a very low count. We're starting to curl back around, and Nvidia is about to be green on the day. So you can see this light blue line on the left chart. That's the previous closing price. That's the level at which a stock goes from red to green and green to red. And so if Nvidia can get back over that, then it'll technically be green on the day, and we'll see what happens. But better sign now, and it's starting to rebound some. But yeah, popped over. Yeah, popped over the VWAP. But yeah, and so you got some penny stock gurus that influence penny stocks, because if a stock only has like 1 million in the float and they've got like, you know, 500 people watching them, just to give my current stream as an example, if they got 500 people watching them and say, hey, everybody, I'm buying this stock, and you got 500 people copying you, that's going to make stocks run. That'll artificially create run-ups, like big run-ups in penny stocks that shouldn't be there, with no catalyst, like no real catalyst of news release or earnings or anything like that. And that is very common in penny stocks, low float stocks. A lot of the big traders that penny stocks watch are actually just pumping up little cheap low float penny stocks, and they're profiting majorly from it. And then they're using the profits that they make to sell those traders courses. And so it's kind of going both sides. It's smart, but it's sleazy as heck, you know? And I don't know if it's technically illegal or not to do so. I know it's kind of a gray area, but it happens for sure. Yeah, Nvidia started to come back. Yeah, for sure. It's the internet, 100%. Nvidia should be over 300, but market makers are playing games. Yeah. It's retesting the 50 on 1 minute. Nvidia go to the moon. RSI crossover. I do the opposite of Kramer's picks. Yeah, I don't trust it. It's got too much big business behind it. You know what I mean? Yeah, because starting to buy up companies like Nvidia used to. Been in AMD. Yeah, I love trading AMD. Yeah, for sure. Hey, if it's your first time here, we cover all the major earnings releases live on stream. And, you know, we also trade a $30,000 account live every weekday morning for free at the opening bell. We start at like 6 a.m. We stream until, you know, 10:30, 11 o'clock. And so if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. I certainly appreciate it. The acquisitions make these stocks pop. Yeah, for sure. And I like Nvidia. I do like Nvidia. All right, so
Yeah.
huge fan. Also was hoping my calls would print. Why do you like trading AMD, and what are you looking for in AMD charts to trade? Okay, so when you're short-term trading, I do both. Like, I invest in stocks, and I also short-term trade. So I'll day trade, swing trade, invest, options, futures. I do a little bit of everything. To be honest, it doesn't matter what I trade. I know a lot of different trading vehicles or niches, if you will. And I just kind of trade what I think has the most edge at that point in time, depending on what's going on in the market. But the reason I like short-term trading AMD a ton is because in short-term trading, it's all about how well stocks maintain trends. Don't get it twisted. No matter what anybody says, short-term trading is all about predicting trends. And you might be predicting it on a macro or micro level, but you want to find stocks that reliably follow trends. You don't want to find stocks that are sporadic and random. And a lot of stocks are. You want to find stocks that reliably follow trends, and AMD does so very well. Is about the best way I can describe it. All right, so the earnings call, again, Nvidia beats on top and bottom, adds strong guidance as well. And so it's honestly kind of crazy that we're getting drops in Nvidia today after these releases. I think valuations will matter again in 2022, and Nvidia is too expensive in my opinion. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's all relative to the float. I think it might be expensive, but I think let's see, it's got 2 billion in the float. Yeah, it's a little expensive. Market cap of 662 billion. And when you compare that to, let's give a comparable stock like AMD. AMD has about a quarter of the market cap of Nvidia, and it's understandable why. I mean, AMDs are still not really a niche computer, but they're definitely not the alpha chip brand.
Where do you see that? Right here.
Yeah. So okay. So, and just to give you a little lesson on these numbers, you have the float, which is the total amount of shares the public has access to trade. You have the outstanding shares, which are all the shares that are out there. So in this case, for AMD specifically, the float is 1.19 billion, and the shares outstanding is 1.199 billion. So there's about a few hundred. There's like a 50 million float difference there. So about 50 million shares, or whatever that number is, goes to the insiders. And then you have the market cap, which is basically outstanding shares multiplied times the float.
Yeah.
And so, or the price of the stock multiplied by the float, or the outstanding shares. So you just multiply the price times the outstanding shares, basically all the shares out there, the number of shares out there times the current price per share, and you'll get the market cap, which is basically how much the company, what kind of money is floating around in the company, their market capitalization rate.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how you judge small company, big company. And when you look at Nvidia, it's the largest microchip company for sure. It's got 600 plus million in the market cap, so it's just a very large company for sure.
Well, yeah, it's weird with microchips right now. Everything around that. You're talking about like not just chips for like controllers or cars or whatever. Basically, everything has a chip in it these days.
Yeah, and
gonna be
well, for sure. But Nvidia is the main one. Like, if you're a computer nerd, almost every computer comes with an Nvidia chip. Some of them have AMD, which are kind of more niche. A lot of ways they're more effective, but they're certainly less. They have less dominance over that market. But Nvidia is the king of chips. It's who makes all of them. And so, yeah. Large company with 8 billion in revenue. Yeah. Nvidia wants to bleed right now. I'm really surprised. All the numbers were pretty solid. Good guidance. Higher than expected numbers all the way around. And if you look at the bottom, you can kind of see like a fourth quarter adjusted EPS of 132 beat the 122 estimate. Sales of 7.64 billion, which beat the 7.42 billion estimate. First quarter revenue of 8.1 billion, which beat the 7.29 billion estimate. Fourth quarter net revenue of 3 billion. So ridiculous numbers here. Good numbers, better than expected all the way around. For the most part, I think there was one in like robotics that they put in a little bit less revenue than they were previously expecting. But
so, Mark's a troll. Like,
yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, he's trying to hit on me, and now he's clogging up the chat.
I don't know if acting like that in the comments has ever worked in the history of picking up anybody. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's ever worked in the history, but dude, still try it. That's all good. Hey John, did you ever find anyone to help you out? What is your contact info? I'm actually interviewing. Oh man, I'm supposed to have an interview with somebody actually today. I'm supposed to interview. Let me send him a message, man. I feel bad.
Someone said it's all about momentum.
So the earnings call is basically going to be at 5:15. It's all about moment. If you want to email me, A1, I mean, I'll talk to you, but I think I have a guy that I'm going to go with. But I appreciate, if you want to send me kind of what you can do, just beginnertrading@gmail.com. And I'll consider it, but I wouldn't get your hopes up, brother, just to be honest. I have a guy that seems to be solid. The earnings call is not, it hasn't started yet. We're waiting for it. It's in about 30 minutes. So we're just reviewing the price action on Nvidia right now, waiting for something to happen. So, yeah, we'll see. But so far, just kind of hanging out, waiting for the earnings numbers to drop. Yeah, it's at 5:15. Here, will you hand me my Dr. Pepper? No, it's like, yeah, there it is. I buy a put option, Shiba. Nvidia dominates data centers. AMD is non-existent there until they acquire Xilinx. Yeah, for sure. What, the manager Nvidia talking? Well, it's going to be the earnings call. The earnings call is going to be, usually companies use earnings calls to pump themselves up a little bit, but also to give a little bit more details, and specifically the Q&A, which can move stocks too. So that's kind of what we're waiting on. But yeah, vote on the poll right now. We got 653 votes, bullish, bearish on Nvidia. Let me know. And what about the Fed meeting?
That's it. You need to pull it up. See what it is.
Well, no, the Fed already spoke earlier.
Oh.
It was a FOMC meeting, I believe.
Do they stream that, or do they like?
You can. I mean, basically, benchmark crude jumped as NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg reportedly disputed claims that Russia began pulling troops from the Ukrainian border. But I don't know if this, but again, that was NATO chief Jens Stoltenberg reportedly disputed claims that Russia had begun pulling troops from the Ukrainian border. So we'll see. How did the market react to this? So here's the SPY. The market. The U.S. Senate also said that they're prepared to support the immediate imposition of strong sanctions on Russia if Putin pushes further and escalates Ukraine issues. So we'll see what happens. But SPY actually had a rip on that, which is kind of weird. Market's kind of dumb right now, I guess. But Biden did speak on midday remarks on the Ukrainian-Russia issues. He said if Russia attacks through cyber, methods or other asymmetrical means that allies in the US will respond. I don't know, man. Very nuanced thing here going on. Very nuanced thing.
Sounds like there's an attempt for de-escalation and everything and talk, so that maybe that's why the market is,
Yeah. Well, yeah, for sure. So there's been a lot of de-escalation talks the last like 2 days, and that has made a lot of things rally, including the SPY itself. So if we look at the SPY here, back on the 15th specifically, so yesterday and today, we've had a rally in the markets, and we'll see what happens with Nvidia. Not huge rallies. I mean, we're green, but it's not huge bullish action or anything like that, but it's not bad. It's better that we get some type of like bullish action in the market. Hopefully it continues, but who knows? We'll have to wait and see. Market started bad this morning on the Russian news, but recovered on the Fed minutes meeting news. Yeah, for sure. Clown market. Yeah, I think it's going to dip a bit for sure, and then a nice reversal to the upside. We'll see. Nvidia, yeah, I mean, I think Nvidia could certainly do that, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. How do you interview them, dude? I'm super I'm super easy with interviews, A1. It's not like I don't need video. I'm just going to talk to you on the phone, brother. Probably through Discord. Yeah, I just need somebody that can be not really my assistant, but like kind of help me manage the channel. So I would prefer to have somebody that can do like thumbnail creation, stock research, maybe help a little bit on the content side. I'll pay $500 a week. But like I said, I've got so many emails related to this that I wouldn't get anybody's hopes up. I don't want to. I feel bad rejecting people, and I got like 30 people that are like loyal to the stream that wanted it, and so it's just kind of been difficult. Nvidia will fly after the earnings call. Yeah, I mean, hopefully they get some good questions. The market jumped because no guidance on interest hike for March. Market was expecting 50 basis points, but got nothing. So both equity and rates rallied. That makes sense. At what time is the conference call? And the Nvidia conference call is in 28 minutes. 28 minutes. So we're kind of hanging out waiting for it now, but it's in 28 minutes. Real estate investors looking here too. I do this professionally for a few YouTube channels. Can talk to you about it. If you're into crypto, yeah, I love crypto, man. Hey, thank you, Parlo. I appreciate you. And y'all hit the subscribe button, guys. Like I said, we do this live every day for free. Like my goal here for this channel is it's not just for beginners. I've been trading for 4 years. I trade a $30,000 account. But my goal here is to give people a free place. Like there's so many people that charge so much for everything, and I think most content in trading can be publicly availably found. I think you can find most content out there for free somewhere because this is the internet, and I think new traders need to save their money, and I think that traders need a free place for it. And so we just try to be free. We don't sell anything. We don't sell a course. We don't sell a service. We don't charge for any of our content. There's no exclusive content that you have to pay for. It's all free. So hey, hit the subscribe button if you want to support. Expect Nvidia's AV sector to boom in the coming years. Yeah, I don't know. Well, we'll see. But like, I don't know. I gotta read up on that sector, to be honest.
Call starts in like 30 minutes, right?
It's like 25, yeah.
Yeah, 20-something, 30 minutes.
So I'm assuming you mean audio visual. What kind of products do they have for AV stuff? Because Parlo, that's good. No excuse to learn this on your own. So much free content on YouTube. Yeah, for sure, 100%. Okay, Parlo is about to get banned. Good day, sir. I have no idea, bro. He's trying to get me to say. He's probably trying to get me to say some trigger words that I shouldn't be saying. So, not today, bro. Not today. Good day, sir. Get Willy Wonka up in here, brother. Yeah, man. Oh, I meant autonomous vehicles. Oh, that's an interesting one. I don't know, man. Like the stream, so more people can get in here. Yes, sir. Hey, we got 560 people here, so we're not doing that bad. Can Nvidia hit 300 on the best scenario? It could. We just got a nice. I don't know if this wick is an order that just went through or what, but it tapped the previous closing price, which seems like it's probably just an order that just got hit. But we have this big up wick here. We're waiting for the earnings call. Nvidia has so many applications. Yeah, for sure. Hey, smash the like button. That's right. Yeah, I mean, honestly, I was telling Carol today. Carol was asking me about the Tesla Plaid.
I know we saw someone that had one of the Tesla SUVs.
But she was
to the gym.
Yeah, but she was asking. Well, no, she was asking like, what is the Plaid, and like, why does everybody want the Tesla Plaid? And as like a car nerd, I had to sit there and tell her like, look, Plaid runs 9-second flat stock quarter mile. Like that's absolutely ridiculous. It runs like 0 to 60 in 2 seconds. And so like the Plaid is like Mercedes version of, is Tesla's version of like the AMG or the WRX STI. It's kind of like the performance version of it, like the Type S version or whatever it is. And so I think it's also a coupe, but it drives itself. Think about having a stock that runs a 9-second flat quarter mile stock and can drive itself. Like, dude, taking long trips would be lovely. I still want a Tesla.
I don't know if I trust it though. Maybe it's just me. It kind of freaks me out thinking that the car is driving itself. It makes me a little bit nervous. I don't know about y'all, but
yeah, Dash did really well. I know. I mean, I think it's something you would get used to. Yeah, there's Dash. If you want to put the 1 minute chart up, kind of see what's it doing. Wow, Dash is still flying up here. Look at DoorDash today, man. That's crazy.
It's because you ordered them on
John, I'm not hitting on your wife, brother. I usually don't see her face when she comes on stream. Wow, she's beautiful. Hey, thank you, Sam. I appreciate the compliment, brother. Thank you, man. It's all good. Would rather have a Benz? I don't know. Not me, man. Is there any application that's free that provides stock news, kind of like the Bloomberg terminal, but free or cheap? I mean, I have an app that I've programmed called Squeeze. It tells you short flow data, free short flow data and information from your phone. It's definitely not optimized. It's kind of just a project I'm working on as a programmer. And so it's pretty simple, but it gives you free short float data. It gives you the short float, short volume, market cap, institutional ownership, SEC filings, and analyst ratings. I don't know. It doesn't have news. Maybe we can add the news to it. But if you want to download it and you have an Android, check out the link. There you go. Yeah, C63 AMG. Yeah, we were just looking at them. They're really dope, man. Y'all, I thought you were Russian. No, I'm a Louisianian, brother. I'm from Russia? I don't know. I'm from Southeast Louisiana. But no, Nvidia's up there to 261.80. We'll see what happens here. That's interesting. What are you using for data access API? I don't really want to tell people my API plugin. I'm using React Native. It's a React Native app. But I don't really want to tell people where I'm getting my data because it took me a while to find a good one that's accurate. So, sorry, brother. Do you like Theo Von's comedy? I love his comedy. And you can tell, like, if you hear me talk and then you hear Theo Von, you can tell the similarities. Like, people from Louisiana, it's kind of a cultural thing, say, a lot.
Dude's from Louisiana. You could tell.
Like, hey, I'm going to go to the store, And people from Louisiana just have similar speech patterns, I guess. When is the earnings call? It is in like 15 minutes. So we're waiting here. It is in 20 minutes, 21 minutes. So we're waiting on it. We're gonna be putting it out live. No iOS app, not yet. I have the Apple developer account set up, and I'm actually paying the freaking $100 a month to be an Apple developer. But I'm mostly I haven't ever uploaded anything using the Apple App Store, and so it's just I'm a self-taught developer, so it's just kind of something that I haven't done yet. But hopefully we'll get it soon. Everybody's always yelling at me to do it.
Dang, we're from Louisiana. We're from Baton Rouge. Not cut off, but I've heard of cut off. They also have a cut and shoot in Texas. Yeah,
cut and shoot, man. The greatest city name ever. You gotta thank Texas for that. Yeah, guidance is definitely what it's doing. You need to cache the app's data every day. It's running slow on your API. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm kind of a rookie developer. So, my apologies. Oh, you want to listen to the music, baby? Here. There you go. Do you code Python? I know Python. Nice, Grant. Hey, honestly, I'm still pretty freaking heartbroken over the Bengals, man. Like Bengals loss was heartbreaking, bro. I mean, at least Whitworth, at least Whitworth got his ring. And I know Stafford over from Detroit, he kind of deserved it, but I'm still heartbroken for my man Joe Burrow. I think Cisco Systems is bullish tomorrow. Yeah, Cisco, didn't they drop their earnings today too? Here's CSCO is the symbol. All right, Nvidia consolidating here, waiting for the earnings call. Yeah, Cisco had numbers that dropped today as well. And this is still in that type of sector. Right, so the Cisco earnings call is actually in progress right now.
We haven't gotten any crawfish yet.
Not this season. We've had king cake though.
Once.
We've had like 2 actually, 3 maybe. We eat king cakes fast around here.
Yeah. I feel like we should eat more crawfish.
Honestly, I'm down for it. It's hard to find good crawfish in Texas. It's expensive. They don't boil it right. And people from Louisiana, us included, are snooty about our crawfish, man. We want
unless we're gonna cook it here, it's kind of like I don't feel like paying $7-8
a pound. Yeah,
a pound for crawfish. That's ridiculous. And they don't even taste right. They boil a lot of times. And I will say there's a way that the Vietnamese around here will make their crawfish where they boil it and then they have these seasonings that they're kind of, the crawfish are tossed in, so they're kind of coated on the outside. It's good because they have all these different flavors, and if they're cooked right, it's Right, but I'm pretty traditional. Like I like the seasons cooked in the water and then cooked in the crawfish.
I'm in New Orleans, my favorite city in the world. Hey, I love New Orleans, man.
Oh yeah, New Orleans is fun.
I still mess with Carol because we went to New Orleans and she called the casino Harrah's. We're gonna go to Harrah's. Let's go to Harrah's right now. And I'm like, poker. Yeah, I was like, baby, it's Harris.
Okay.
I'm a poker player. We got to get it right. We gotta say the name right. Crayfish, yeah.
Not crayfish.
Yeah, Roblox, man. I listened to the earnings call a little bit this morning in our live stream. So we actually listened to this earnings call. I don't know.
It's not crayfish though. It's crawfish.
Yeah, Roblox got absolutely destroyed. We did Airbnb's conference call yesterday too. So we did do Airbnb's conference call. Yeah, hey, thank you, Spac. I appreciate you. Yeah, everything we do here is free. Okay, so we have this weird candle for Nvidia. Look at this candle, which means it popped up there and then closed, and then came right back down immediately here. So weird. Again, we got about 17 minutes until the earnings call for Nvidia. About 17 minutes. So vote on the poll.
ASOS Fable said that they call it crayfish in Ohio.
Yeah, I mean, understandable. I get it. I'll tell you this from a Louisiana native. All right, it's crawfish. It's also not New Orleans. It's not New Orleans. It's New Orleans. Is how people from the South say it. It's from Louisiana. They say New Orleans. They very rarely will say New Orleans unless they're singing the Chuck Berry song. Yeah, for sure, Ryan, 100%, brother. I'm still learning, man. But like I said, I've been learning JavaScript specifically and Python, a little bit of Python, but mostly JavaScript, React, and just CSS, HTML front end stuff for like 4 years now. Just kind of in my free time teaching myself. And so, yeah, Nolans, yeah, that's actually fine.
That's about right.
Yeah, that's right. As long as it's not New Orleans, nobody says it like that in Louisiana. And I know a lot of people outside Louisiana, they're like, "Hey, it's New Orleans," because it sounds like we would say it that way, but we don't.
I can say Atchafalaya.
Yeah, Atchafalaya. Yeah, the Atchafalaya Bridge, bro. I got two flat tires. So can I got 2 flat tires on the Atchafalaya Bridge 1 year.
And then
rough, man. It's like 30 miles long too.
Yeah, I remember he was talking like that. And then I remember in school they would teach us to spell Mississippi. M-I-S-S-I-S-S-I-P-P-I.
Yeah, I still spell it that way. In my head, I'm like, how do you spell it? Okay, let's sing the song in my head. That's right. Same thing with from the Jim Carrey movie where he spells beautiful. because you think you're smart until you got to spell beautiful. It's BEA beautiful. You know.
Or Wednesday.
Yeah. Guaranteed is really the one that word has my number anytime I try to spell that. Guaranteed. Yeah, Orleans Parish is fine. You can say that too. Are you gonna stream Palantir? Are you gonna stream Palantir earnings in the morning? We'll definitely react to them. I'm not sure. It depends on what is on my schedule. Like I said, we live stream in the morning from like 6 a.m. to like 10 or to like 11 o'clock market time every day. And so it depends on what's going on. If there's a bunch of stuff going on, we're probably not going to stream the full earnings call for Palantir. If there's not a lot going on and it's a boring day, then we might. Today we streamed Roblox's earnings call. So it just depends.
Okay, so about the baby, Badger Trader, the baby is in there. So when you bring the cake, whoever you put the baby in the cake, and you have to make sure you don't choke on it, or but whoever gets the baby is the one who brings the next king.
They got to buy the next king cake.
Yeah, so like all during Mardi Gras season, you bring a cake once a week. Usually it's on Wednesday, I think.
But honestly, I haven't had anybody do that in like a long time. Mostly for liability reasons. They used to put it in the cake themselves. Like you never had to put it in the cake because it would already be in the cake when you got it. But now for liability reasons,
top of the cake with some beads or something.
Yeah.
But
so
it's
somebody ruined the fun.
Like in grade school, I remember 6th, 7th grade. It was fun. It was just something to look forward to during Mardi Gras season.
Yeah.
And,
Roblox got for sure. But no, Roblox got absolutely destroyed. Look at this. It's at 262s.
And I'm sure that
that's Nvidia. Roblox got destroyed today. Just rough. And I think games are seasonal. Sorry, baby.
No, I was just gonna say, and I'm sure that there's more of a history to the baby.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But no, I think games are seasonal. I think if you look at Epic Games with like Fortnite, I think it's a little bit telling of public companies and video game stocks. I don't know if Epic is public, but I know the trends for specifically Fortnite. Like, has anybody ever seen Ninja in like a long time? He hasn't really been super famous anymore. And so it's kind of telling. Same thing with what was the other pro Fortnite player? There's a bunch of them.
Who does this dance?
Yeah, that was Backpack. That was Backpack Kid, I think. But
that wasn't started on Fortnite.
No, Fortnite actually copied it from him. Yeah. But my point is that games are seasonal. I think Roblox is a little bit different though, because Roblox is more of like an app store creator platform where you can create your own Roblox games. And so I think that makes it unique and that makes it more endearing and it might have more longevity because of that. But I still think it's a vulnerable play. I think Roblox is vulnerable to video game trends. And I think that I just think there's risk there, but potential risk, potential reward as well.
Pretty sure, I don't know about King Cake in New Orleans, but I'm pretty sure it's Gambino's in Baton Rouge.
Yeah, there's a bunch of good ones, or like famous ones.
Let me look it up. I could tell you.
Oh, you mean Ninja's Filter is streaming with like 8,000 views? I mean, 8,000 views is not that much, bro. I mean, listen, my streams in the morning get like 300 to 500 views like this, and this is a lot. And I'm still very blessed to be in this situation. You know what I mean? And to have this community. Nvidia's starting to rip back up, guys. Let's see if we get it. Here's a U-shaped breakout pattern. Hopefully we pop over the previous closing price here at 265, and we'll see. But in this grand scheme of things, 8,000 is not a huge amount. It's not a ridiculous amount. It's not bad, but it's not huge either. What stocks do you guys own? Disney, Apple, DraftKings, Nvidia, a bunch of them, Are you listening to Pokemon and Animal Crossing music? No, but I should, because Pokemon is my son. I have an 8-year-old son. He freaking loves Pokemon, bro. I grew up in prime Pokemon age, where we used to slang Pokemon cards on the corner before school every day.
They have keto king cake.
Yeah. Honestly, I was eating those Atkins little peanut butter cups, and those things are good. I don't know how they only have a gram of sugar in it, but those things are good.
Everything has a keto alternative. That's awesome.
Nvidia is starting to push up. So Nvidia is technically green on the day for the first time in a few minutes, so in a minute. So Nvidia is actually green on the day for the first time in, like, I don't know what that is, 45 minutes. And so we are technically green on the day from Nvidia, and we'll see if we continue. Google will shut down Roblox. I don't know, man. Thanks for continuing to stream. Things get super boring after 3. Hey, I got you cruising. Nvidia's been doing well this month. It's recovering well. Yeah, it's starting to pop back up. Honestly, I'm still surprised at how it reacted to those really good earnings. Better than expected results all the way around. I'm just surprised on how bad it did after those earnings. They were good numbers. They were good numbers. They were better than expected. All it means is that they were probably priced in. It was baked in already. So yeah, we're just kind of hanging out waiting. Fourth quarter results were better than expected. Again, $1.32 EPS, non-GAAP EPS beat by 10 cents. The $1.22 estimate revenue of $7.64 billion beat it by $210 million according to Benzinga. And y'all check out Benzinga. Benzinga's super dope. They have you can try their scanners out completely free for 2 weeks without even needing a credit card number. So you can try them out completely free for 2 weeks. Check them out. Here's the link. But more Nvidia when it dropped. Honestly, that's kind of how I saved myself in that trade, was adding a little bit on the dip. Do you have a PO box? I have a ton of duplicate celebration cards from the 25th anniversary Pokemon drop I could send for your son. Oh no, I appreciate it, Han. I do not have a PO box, and I do need to get one set up. So if I get one set up, I'll let you know. But I don't think it's weird. I appreciate it. You're just trying to be nice, so I appreciate it. I used to drive to BR at Lake Charles 3 or 4 times a week to play. Fiance put an end to that. Yeah, BR's like I said, BR's my hometown, man. Love BR, love Louisiana, but it was time for me to move away.
Yeah, I grew up in Sherwood,
Yeah.
Baton Rouge, and yeah, I mean, Baton Rouge will always be my home, and like Louisiana, there's like a feeling every time we go. I just get this kind of
It's a good place, man. Good food.
Where I'm like, But then I drive on the roads and I'm like, all right, I'm ready to be back in Texas.
Yeah, for sure.
Because Texas roads are generally pretty good.
Well, you've been to Westheimer. That's not really
good. That's in the middle of downtown though, so that's like that road gets driven on all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's all good.
I'm familiar with Church Point. I have some friends out in Church Point.
Yeah, I grew up in Jefferson Terrace, Baton Rouge. So right off of Bluebonnet. All right, we got Nvidia. It's at 263.40. So hit the previous closing price, rejected. And again, here's the previous close. You can see how relevant this level is because a lot of traders are paying attention to it and basing their trades around it. And so we're hanging out. We got about 7 minutes until the earning call drops. So about 7 minutes. So be ready. We're going to be streaming the earnings call live.
I'm going to run to the bathroom real quick.
All right. Can you sell in after hours? Yeah, you do. It depends on what platform. If you want to sell in after hours, you got to go to, you got to add, like if you want to sell, you go to time and force. You got to add your time and force and select EXT and then use a limit order. But yeah, you could sell. Loving the music too. Spotify. No, we're using Epidemic Sounds. This is all license-free music. So we're just kind of hanging out, waiting. But I appreciate it. I'm in Houston. S. Rayan. I'm in Houston. Man, what's up? Keeping it real. All right, so we're at 263s right now. I think Nvidia, it mostly needs to hold over the volume weighted average price. I think if it holds over the VWAP, it's going to be doing good, but I think it needs to hold, and we'll see if it does. But I think it needs to. License free music, yeah, it's copyright free music. It's music that I'm allowed to play on my YouTube channel without having to pay somebody, or get or without. It's not owned by them. I have the license to play it. Is what it means. Hey, just got excuse me. Hey, I just got to hear, are you bullish or bearish? I'm definitely bullish in Nvidia. I think if you look at the daily chart, I think it's a nice daily chart. I think we've had big rips up this year, and we've had this nice pullback to like the 220s that we bounced off of really nicely, and we're kind of on the ascent back up here. So I'm bullish in Nvidia. Of course, I can't guarantee it's going to do anything, As always, you never really know what's going to happen with anything, and we're watching it. But I am bullish in Nvidia. Permission from Ameritrade? No, I mean it's not Ameritrade. It's any platform. They're gonna make you use a limit order. You can't use market orders and pre-market or extended hours. You're also gonna have to set the time and force of the position outside of regular market hours. So if you're trading a regular trade, you don't have to do anything. But if you're trading in extended hours, you have to select the time and force for the trade. An active trader on TOS, it's called TIF. You have to select that and change it to EXT for extended hours. And then once you do that, I don't know what the process on Weeble's like, but once you do that, you should be able to trade. Yeah, the earnings numbers are known, but the actual earnings call for Nvidia is going to be dropping, and we're going to be able to listen to the executives talk about Nvidia. We're also going to be listening to the questions that major finance firms ask company. A lot of the time it's the CEO, or it could be another executive or insider with the company. Wife and I are trying to move to Texas. We're thinking a suburban place, so no major cities. Yeah, I mean, I don't actually live in Texas. I live in Spring, Texas. I live outside Houston. So I live in one of the suburbs outside Houston. So there's Spring, there's the Woodlands, there's Katy, all really nice kind of outskirt towns. So you can kind of avoid that crazy traffic. No, you can't bring Rosie in here. She's going to eat my computer cores. Never heard of Weatherford, to be honest. Abdul Rahman. Never heard of it, brother. So, got some family in Katy. Woodlands is dope. Conroe's nice. Yeah, most people want to know about inflation impact on businesses and supply chain issues and the guidance. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. We got 3 minutes, team. 3 minutes until the fourth quarter fiscal year 22 financial results for Nvidia. But I think in 3.5 minutes, it's just the start of the room. It might not start for after that, so we'll see. No news yet. Hey, nice high performance. Yeah, y'all subscribe. Most people want to know about inflation. Yeah, no news yet. I need to move to Texas just for the tax. Yeah, the one benefit of Texas is that there's no state income tax. But I mean, property tax they're kind of ridiculous here, so it kind of compensates for it.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Nvidia got a Jaguar deal today. Man, we gotta get some WD-40 on them things, man. Sorry, we got this baby German Shepherd. Her name is Rosie. She's 5 months old. Sweetest dog ever. But she wants to be in here with us. And she will eat my computer. Do you only stream earnings releases? No, man. We have streamed every market open. Short-term trading live. I trade a $30,000 account. We trade every weekday morning live every day. So we trade the market open. We start the live stream at like 6 a.m. every morning. And we stream until 10:30, 11 after the market open, like an hour after the market open. And we trade live. We talk about news. Today we streamed a little bit of the Roblox earnings calls. And so we do a little bit of everything, brother. Like I said, my goal is to create a free resource where I don't sell a course. I give everything away for free and I don't charge a penny for any content. It's all free. So, hey, if you appreciate that, hit the subscribe button. I definitely appreciate any support the channel can get. And yeah. How much money do you make every day on average? In my trades, I might make 50 to 100 bucks a day. I'm not trying to, and that's just with my short-term trading. I mean, I invest and I make money on investments. Sometimes I lose money on investments. I think traders have it twisted in a lot of ways. I think if you're day trading, a lot of traders are trading too large relative to their account size. And so I have a $30,000 account, but I might make 50 bucks because the larger you trade relative to your account size, the more risky your trading is. And I'm not trying to lose $30,000. Like I would much rather safe and consistent gains as opposed to big home run swings trying to look cool on social media. And so we run this resource, but I don't, like I said, I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service. I don't even claim to be a good trader. I just let people watch me trade. I explain my thought process of entering positions, but I also preface everything with like, hey, look, we can't guarantee you're going to make money, of course. All right, we got about 50 seconds until the lobby opens up, and then I'm sure they're going to play hold music for about 15 minutes, and then we're going to start. Best believe. You better believe we're not charging a penny for anything.
Facts.
Yeah, hey, listen. A lot of traders trade too large, man. It's the cool thing to do. I get it. Like if I wanted to be sleazy, I could pretend to be this super rich trader driving Lamborghinis and living in mansions, and sell a course for thousands of dollars, and that's cool and all. But like, I would rather just be free and not have any pressure. If I suck at trading one day, I would rather be able to just be like, "Yep, I suck today," instead of trying to pretend that I don't suck because people are buying a course from me. You know what I mean? And it's just I would rather just be free. You know. Hey, that's rough. Eat Ryan, that's rough, brother. Do you trade equity or options? I trade both. We trade a little bit of options. Does YouTube pay you for your stream? Yeah, I get paid for sure. The only reason I'm doing this, I mean, I'm gonna just be honest for a second. I would not stream if I didn't get paid. Nobody would. You know, I could pull the whole, I'm giving you guys the kindness out of my heart, but I'm 100% in this to make money. You know, I would not be on YouTube if I wasn't making money. Nobody would. Nobody's going to spend hours every day doing anything if they don't make money doing it. They can claim not to, but like anybody that does this is doing this to make money, and that's okay. You know, I'm providing a free resource, you know, a free community, a free resource. I don't charge anything. And so with that, I make some money doing it. And that should be an understandable thing, I think. How much do I owe if I'm negative for the year? Nothing. You can actually write off the money in taxes. Talk to your CPA, though. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Don't sue me. Right, exactly, Tolga. Yeah, I mean, we spend a lot of time, so we're going to make money, and that should be an understandable thing. And we post affiliate links. Like, I post affiliate links. We post some affiliate advertisements. But, again, my big thing is, like, you have the option. You don't have to buy anything to get any type of content. Like, everything's free. If you want to sign up for the services we promote, go ahead. You know, they're all regulated services. You know, we promote crypto platform, you know. Yeah, for sure. I would say anybody that can pull over 100 viewers live is making at least 50K a year. Speculating, of course. It's going to depend on what the niche is. But especially in finance, anybody hitting over 100 viewers daily is making at least 50K a year, usually. I think UPST, are you long or short on this earnings play? I'm bullish. So I'm definitely bullish in Nvidia. I like Nvidia. Yeah, hey, I appreciate y'all being here. I hope Nvidia goes up so we can eat Whataburger. Texas has got those tacos, man.
Yeah, street tacos.
I had birria tacos for the first time. So those things are super good, man. You know, if you're in the Woodlands, go to Julio's. Really good. Yeah, for sure, crypto. Who's the pretty girl next to you? That's my wife. That's Carol. You know. I'm gonna lose like 100 viewers just for me saying that's my wife, but that's okay. You know, we'll be all right. All right, Nvidia earnings call is supposed to be pretty soon. Let's check it. Okay, we're still on hold, so we're gonna keep back checking this, and we'll let you guys know. It's supposed to start in like 12 minutes, so be ready. Yeah, we're waiting 5:30 p.m. for the earnings call, Simon. So the earnings call is at 5:30 p.m. and we're just kind of hanging out waiting for that. And so, you know, we'll see. Honestly, I'm still pretty shocked at how Nvidia went down after those good numbers. They were all pretty good numbers. I don't think any of them were bad, like terrible. And they were all mostly beat. So they mostly beat expectations. Speaking of Nvidia, so I'm a little shocked it went down as much as it did. Nvidia posted fourth quarter adjusted EPS, and again, for EPS, I said this earlier and I'll say it again. EPS is earnings per share. It is the metric at which you can judge the profitability of a company. And so high EPS means a company is more profitable. A low EPS or a negative EPS means the company's less profitable or not profitable at all. And so fourth quarter adjusted EPS came in at 132. beat the 122 estimate, so higher than expected EPS, adjusted EPS for the fourth quarter. They put in sales of $7.64 billion, which beat the $7.42 billion estimate. So better than expected sales numbers as well. First quarter revenue came in at a little bit over $8 billion at $8.1 billion versus $7.29 billion expected, which is still noticeably better than expected. Non-GAAP EPS, so earnings per share, again, a gauge of profitability of the company, came in at 132, better by 122 estimate, so better by 10 cents per share in EPS. Revenue of 7.64 beat the 7.42 estimate. And yeah, I mean, we're waiting for guidance, but the guidance was favorable as well. And the earnings call is going to be dropping in about 10 minutes. And so we're going to be streaming the entire earnings call live on stream. So we'll see what happens. Let me know. Vote on the poll right now. So far, we've had tons of votes already. We've had over 1,000 votes. 86% of you are saying you're bullish on Nvidia. 14% are saying bearish. What are we waiting for? We're waiting for guidance and earnings call numbers. Hello all, new to the channel, love the vibe here. Are we waiting on the earnings call? Yeah, we're gonna be listening to the earnings call live here. So we're gonna be listening to the earnings call. So it's something that you're gonna be able to hear it through this stream. Yeah, this is TD Ameritrade. This is Thinkorswim. 86% of them are delusional permanent bulls. I mean, I think long-term Nvidia is going to be fine. I think any healthy company like this, whether we're talking about Disney, Nvidia, AMD, Apple, I think over 10 years, it's going to see growth for sure. Now, short-term, it's a little bit more speculative, a little bit more of a subjective view. But I think short-term will probably be okay too, judging it by the daily chart. I think the daily chart, analyzing the extension here on the downside, I don't think we're going to be terrible for Nvidia unless it just kind of turns the quarter, or unless something major macro happens in the market, like if the market tanks, Nvidia is going to come with it. But I tend to not hate it here. We'll see what happens though. Never really know. I could be very easily wrong. It could just crash down for all I know. Who knows? Don't sue me. But yeah, we're at 263 right now. What?
Rosie is just...
Oh, the Rosie baby. She's sitting over there.
Come in, sit down.
She's a little baby puppy. You want to see Rosie?
Can I get him?
No. Don't bring her in here. I was going to show him pictures. Dude, she will disconnect my computer. We got 600 plus people here. I don't feel like having that happen.
Here, I have some pictures of it. Let me see.
Yeah, I got some pictures of her. Look at this baby, bro. Y'all want to see Rosie? This is Rosie right here. That's Rosie right there, bro. The best puppy ever, dude. Look at this puppy, dude.
Oh, I hear her. It's okay.
Sweetest
baby.
puppy ever, dude. She is a great dog. That's Rosie. She's 5 months. Coolest dog ever, man. All right, still on hold. Again, we'll probably be on hold for another 8 minutes, and then the earnings call is going to be starting. Yeah, it's a German Shepherd.
She's such a good guard dog.
She really is, man. Somebody knocks on our door, dude. We're hearing it. We're hearing it.
All right.
Yeah.
So
she's ready, man.
So if I go anywhere and I bring her with me, this is her. Y'all can't see.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, see, she's like watching. She's ready. She's
such
a good little guard dog already.
Yeah, it looks like a police dog. Honestly, I think everybody probably thinks I'm like a cop because we have Rosie. I just love German Shepherds. They're the coolest dogs ever. Super smart. We had a black German Shepherd. Coolest dog ever, bro. Best dog. Super smart. Growing up, and so I wanted another one, and we got one. But now everybody thinks I'm a cop. Yeah.
That's the point why we got her.
Yeah.
We don't want anyone to mess with her, with us or the kids.
Right. John, what do you think of Nvidia as a swing trade? It depends on the length of time. I tend to think the longer that goes by, the safer it is, and I think that's generally true with most swing trades anyway. But I think I have some specific levels I'm watching. Number one is 240s. I think 240 is interesting. It's confirmed numerous times already. Resistance in a few days as well. So, if I was swing trading it, that would probably be where my stop loss is. And then you could set a reward target at like 300 or something like that. Get a little bit favorable risk reward ratio there. But again, of course, I'm not saying you should do that. We got to look at it in terms of levels. And again, maybe it just crashes down, breaks under 240, it just goes down. I'm certainly not trying to give out a stock pick or recommendation. I have no idea what it's going to do, but that's probably how I'd play it. 250 might be a big level as well. But who knows? Let me know what you think, what levels you like for Nvidia. And yeah, we're still waiting on the earnings call to start. It should start in about 6 minutes. Yeah. Takes some days to make money back off Nvidia, but he's right. 240 is pretty safe. Yeah, I mean, it's just a subjective level. I think that looks interesting. It's built up a lot of support. I think it's kind of a milestone level, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Nvidia up there to 262s. I'm really curious to see if we reverse from this earnings call. Again, great numbers for Nvidia, so shocking to see it drop, but it's not down a huge amount relative to the range of pre-market overall. It went up there to 275s. It's down. It hit lows of 150 or 250. I mean, so we're about in the middle range relative to the big swings it's taken from the earnings call, and that's not terrible. We'll see. It could also, some people might say it's like a symmetrical triangle or something like that here. I don't know if I would think that's reliable, but you can kind of see something like that here. At the very least, you get kind of levels consolidating together, and maybe we'll get a rip in one way or the other, but who knows? Maybe not. Maybe we'll just keep going sideways. Thoughts on Wingstop? I mean, I love Wingstop, bro. I love barbecue wings, man. I don't know what else to say about that. I mean, I love barbecue wings.
I don't know, John. I like them every now and then, but they're not my #1 favorite thing.
Dude, every food I eat here, nobody likes, bro. I eat nachos. Nachos are delicious, man. Nobody eats nachos here. I eat
the kids
freaking,
eat nachos.
Yeah, I eat wings. I eat chicken wings all the time. Nobody eats them here, man. I don't get it. Nobody likes my food.
Maddie will eat them.
Oh.
Just because I'm not a big wing person doesn't mean that nobody is.
Yeah, like nachos. Get some refried beans on the nachos. Like what?
Yeah,
so good.
I like nachos.
All right, we're still waiting on hold. We got 4 minutes, guys. Honestly, they keep pushing it back. So yeah, nachos are goated for sure.
Yes, wings are overrated. Exactly.
I'm old. Aesop's. I'm definitely old. Depends on. I mean, I guess it's all relative. I'm kind of old. I'm old enough to have an 8-year-old son and an older daughter. So.
You don't want to tell them how old they?
No. Yeah. No, I don't. Not even for that. I don't feel like getting hacked. John, I bought 50 shares at 266 per share. What's your opinion? I mean, I think that it's close enough to its current level that, it could go either way. Again, I think the longer you hold this, I think the odds will increase. Shorter you hold it, the worse your odds will be. But again, I don't know. Good luck. I think it could turn out well. Could also turn out the other way, and we'll see.
Buffalo, y'all are all about them wings, huh? I believe it. Buffalo wings.
Do you ever buy pre-earnings, or how do you play this? I'm not much of a earnings guy. I bought a little bit of Nvidia pre-earnings and got beat up a little bit on the drop. Luckily, I made most of it back from adding on the dip. But generally, I like longer-term investments. I don't like to speculate too much pre-earnings. I think you can have things like you had today with Nvidia, where it had really good numbers, better than expected. Earnings beat mostly all the way around, except for 1 or 2 metrics. And then it dropped. So, because of that, I think a lot of people are front loading into earnings like much earlier than right before it. And so with that, the only real way to play it is to analyze a longer term entry and kind of bake yourself in with everybody else. What did you guys eat today? What did we eat today, man? I ate cereal, eggs.
Some hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
And the muscle milk.
Yeah, we'll see. Hey, what's up, Juan? All right, so we're still waiting. Got about 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Did I hit the... Okay, there we go. Hasn't that been the case for all earnings? AMD was the wrong play on Nvidia earnings. Glad I didn't touch that. Last year when Nvidia did 100+%, it stayed sideways for 8 or 9 months, so it's okay. Just like Affirm destroyed a lot of people with their earnings. Yeah, for sure, man. Affirm earnings, they got beat up bad. I'm a day trader, usually walk away at a $3 gain. Yeah, I'm incredibly impatient with trading. I'm mostly a scalper in terms of short-term trading. So when I short-term trade, I might hold something for like 30 seconds. I'll trade the SPY, QQQ, you know. All right, guys. So the numbers or the conference call should be starting very, very soon. Still on hold, but we got less than a minute, and then the earnings call is starting. So we made it to the earnings call, guys, and we'll see what happens. Again, Nvidia ripping up. It's at 262s, so we'll see what happens. Also, guys, y'all hit the subscribe button. Listen, we day trade live for free every weekday morning.
What's that?
Oh, it's the meeting I had scheduled with the guy. All right, guys, Nvidia popping up. Let's see what the earnings call is saying here. Still on hold, so it should be starting any minute. We're waiting on the Nvidia earnings call, but it should be starting any minute here. Again, real quick before it starts, let me know your view. Bull, bear, vote on the poll. Once it starts, you gotta just let me know if you can hear. Y'all can hear the music, correct?
I can't hear.
You don't have your headphones in. Full bear roar. Sold Facebook calls. Yeah, man, Facebook has just gotten beat up. What did Facebook do today? Facebook rebound, but big drop in pre-market. Man, what's going on with this earnings call? All right, good. Sometimes we hear music really briefly. We're waiting for the earnings call. Bought puts. Meta is about to be in the 200s. Yeah, I mean, it's been tough for Facebook, man. Facebook's had a tough. They lost $10 billion in the metaverse. What do y'all think about the metaverse? Y'all like it?
I just read something that said that.
Good afternoon.
Okay, I'm
My
sorry.
name is
Earnings
David,
call
and I'll
starting.
be your conference operator today.
Let's do a
At this
soundtrack.
time, I'd like
Sound
to
good?
welcome everyone to Nvidia's fourth quarter earnings call.
You should be able to
Today's
hear well.
conference is being recorded. All lines have been placed on mute to prevent any background noise. After the speaker's remarks, there'll be a question and answer session. If you'd like to ask a question during this time, simply press the star key followed by the number 1 on your telephone keypad. If you'd like to withdraw your question, press star 1 once again. Thank you. Simona Jankowski, you may begin your conference.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to NVIDIA's conference call for the fourth quarter of fiscal 2022. With me today from NVIDIA are Jensen Huang, President and Chief Executive Officer, and Colette Kress, Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer. I'd like to remind you that our call is being webcast live on NVIDIA's Investor Relations website. The webcast will be available for replay until the conference call to discuss our financial results for the first quarter of fiscal 2023. The content of today's call is NVIDIA's property. It can be reproduced or transcribed without our prior written consent. During this call, we may make forward-looking statements based on current expectations. These are subject to a number of significant risks and uncertainties, and our actual results may differ materially. For a discussion of factors that could affect our future financial results and business, please refer to the disclosure in today's earnings release, our most recent Forms 10-K and 10-Q, and the reports that we may file on Form 8-K with the Securities and Exchange Commission.
I mean, you can
All
see
our statements are made as of today, February 16th, 2022, based on information currently available to us. Except as required by law, we assume no obligation to update any such statement. During this call, we will discuss non-GAAP financial measures. You can find a reconciliation of these non-GAAP financial measures to GAAP financial measures in our CFO commentary, which is posted on our website. With that, let me turn the call over to Colette.
Thanks, Simona.
So here's the window.
We had an excellent quarter with revenue up 53% year on year to $7.6 billion. We set records for total revenue, as well as for gaming, data center, and professional visualization. Full year revenue was a record $26.9 billion, up 61%, compounding the prior year's growth of 53%. Starting with gaming, revenue of $3.4 billion rose 6% sequentially and was up 37% from a year earlier. Fiscal year revenue of $12.5 billion was up 61%. Gaming has become the top entertainment medium and continues to show strong momentum. Just last month, Steam hit a record 28 million concurrent users, up 50% in 2 years. Record desktop revenue in the quarter was led by our growth in our GeForce RTX 30 series products, with continued strength in the high end. At CES, we announced the RTX 3050 GPU, which hit retail in late January, bringing Nvidia, RTX, and AI technologies to more mainstream audiences. Laptop gaming revenue also set a record, driven by the ramp of the new GeForce RTX 3070 Ti and 3080 Ti GPUs, which were also announced at CES. These leverage our 4th generation Max-Q technology to enable quiet, thin, and light gaming laptops. All in, we announced over 160 new laptop designs for Nvidia Ampere architecture RTX 30 series GPUs. These include a number of studio systems targeting the tens of millions of creators driving the future of design, innovation, and virtual worlds. In addition to supporting the new RTX 30 series GPUs, studio laptops feature support for NVIDIA software like Omniverse, Canvas, and Broadcast. Availability of our gaming products in the channel remains low. NVIDIA RTX ecosystem continues to expand, with over 30 new RTX games and applications added this quarter, including blockbuster hits like Battlefield 2042, Grand Theft Auto, the Trilogy, Call of Duty Vanguard, and God of War. In addition, several new titles support NVIDIA Reflex for low latency gameplay. Our GPUs are capable of cryptocurrency mining, though we have limited visibility into how much of this impacts our overall GPU demand. Nearly all desktop NVIDIA Ampere architecture GeForce GPU shipments.
Here, we're going to show the other chart.
Hash rate to help direct GeForce supply to gamers. Crypto mining processor revenue was $24 million, which is included in OEM and other. We continue to expand the NVIDIA GeForce Now cloud gaming ecosystem with new hit titles, including EA's Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 5. At CES, we announced a partnership with Samsung to integrate GeForce Now in its smart TVs, starting in Q2 of this year. This follows last month's beta release of the GeForce Now app for LG smart TVs. In addition, we teamed up with AT&T to bring GeForce Now to 5G mobile devices in the US. We also added our first GFN data center in Canada. Moving to Pro Visualization. Q4 revenue was $643 million, was up 11% sequentially and up 109% from a year ago. Fiscal year revenue of $2.1 billion was up 100%. Sequential growth in the quarter was driven by a shift to higher value workstation and the continued ramp of our NVIDIA Ampere architecture. We believe strong demand is fueled by continued build-outs for hybrid work environments, as well as growth in key workloads, including 3D design, AI, and rendering. For example, Sony Pictures ImageWorks is using NVIDIA RTX to accelerate ray tracing for rendering-related applications. Volkswagen is using NVIDIA RTX for AI to assist in predictive maintenance of their vehicles. And Duke Energy is using Nvidia RTX for AI and VR to map, view, and maintain energy facilities. Nvidia Omniverse Enterprise software entered general availability, and while it's still in early days, customer feedback so far has been very positive, with multiple significant enterprise licensees already signed. In addition to software licenses, Omniverse also drives computing opportunity for Nvidia RTX in laptops, workstations, and on-prem servers, and the cloud. Omniverse can be used by individuals for free and by enterprise teams via software subscriptions. At CES, we made the free version of Omniverse for individuals general availability. Omniverse allows creators with RTX GPUs to connect leading 3D design applications to a single scene and supercharge their work with AI and physics. We also announced early access to Omniverse Cloud, which adds one-click capability to collaborate with other artists, whether across the room or across the globe. For digital twin applications, we announced the Isaac autonomous mobile robot platform. Using Omniverse and securely orchestrated and cloud delivered with Fleet Command, the platform optimizes operational efficiency and accelerates deployment of logistics robots. It consists of several NVIDIA AI technologies and SDKs, including DeepMap for high-precision
Watch
mapping,
260.
Metropolis for situational awareness, and REOP for real-time route optimization. Moving to automotive. Q4 revenue was $125 million, declined 7% sequentially and 14% from the year-ago quarter. Fiscal year revenue of $566 million was up 6%. We have just started shipments of our Orin-based drive platform and expect to return to sequential revenue growth in Q1, with more meaningful inflection in the second half of the fiscal year and momentum building into calendar 2023 and beyond. I will now hand it over to Jensen to provide more color on this morning's automotive news.
Thanks, Colette.
All right, so let's see what they
Earlier
say.
today, we announced a partnership with Jaguar Land Rover
Yeah.
to jointly develop and deliver fleets of software-defined cars. Starting in 2025, all new Jaguar and Land Rover vehicles will have next-generation automated driving systems, plus
Wow.
AI-enabled software and services built on the NVIDIA Drive platform. Drive Orin will be the AI computer brain running our Drive AV and Drive IX software.
What do y'all feel about
And the
autonomous
Drive Hyperion
vehicles
sensor network
with
will be the
NVIDIA?
central nervous system. This new vehicle architecture will enable a wide spectrum of active safety, automated driving, and parking systems. Inside the vehicle, the system will deliver AI features, including driver and occupant monitoring and advanced visualization of the vehicle's surroundings. We are very much looking forward to partnering with Thierry Bolloré, JLR's CEO, and his team to reinvent the future of luxury cars. Our full stack, end-to-end approach is a new business model that offers downloadable AV and AI services to the fleet of JLR vehicles, with a shared software revenue stream for both companies over the life of the fleet. This partnership follows the template of our announcement with Mercedes-Benz. Our shared software revenue opportunity with both OEMs will scale with the size of their NVIDIA-powered fleet, which combined can exceed 10 million cars over a decade. Colette, back to you.
Basically butter paws. Yeah, that's
Thanks,
kind of how it goes.
Jensen. Moving to data center. Record revenue of $3.3 billion grew 11% sequentially and 71% from a year earlier. Fiscal year revenue of $10.6 billion was up 58%. Data center growth in the quarter was once again led by our compute products on strong demand for NVIDIA AI. Hyperscale and cloud demand was outstanding, with revenue more than doubling year on year. Vertical industries also posted strong double-digit year-on-year growth led by consumer internet companies. The flagship Nvidia A100 GPU continued to drive strong growth. Inference-focused revenue more than tripled year-on-year. Accelerating inference growth has been enabled by widespread adoption of our Triton Inference Server software, which helps customers deliver fast and scalable AI in production. Data center compute demand was driven by continued deployment of our Ampere architecture-based products for fast-growing AI workloads, such as natural language processing and deep learning recommendation systems, as well as cloud computing. For example, Block Inc., a global leader in payment, uses conversational AI in its Square Assistant to schedule appointments with customers. These AI models are trained on NVIDIA GPUs in AWS and perform inference 10x faster on the AWS GPU service than on our CPUs. Social media company Snap used NVIDIA GPUs and Merlin Deep Recommendator software to improve inference cost efficiency by 50% and decrease latency by 2x.
They might have time.
Year in a row, industry benchmarks show that NVIDIA AI continues to lead the industry in performance. Along with partners like Microsoft Azure, NVIDIA sets records in the latest MLPerf benchmarks for AI training across 8 popular AI workloads, including computer vision, natural language processing, recommendation systems, reinforcement learning, and object detection. NVIDIA AI was the only platform to make submissions across all benchmarks and use cases, demonstrating versatility as well as high performance. The numbers show performance gains on our A100 GPUs of over 5x in just 18 months, thanks to continuous innovations across the full stack in AI algorithms, optimization tools, and system software. Over the past 3 years, they show performance gains of over 20x, powered by advances we have made across our full stack, offering GPUs, networks, systems, and software. The leading performance of NVIDIA AI is sought after by some of the world's most technically advanced companies. Meta Platforms unveiled its new AI supercomputer, Research Supercluster, with over 6,000 A100 GPUs linked to an NVIDIA Quantum InfiniBand network. Meta's early benchmarks showed its system can train large natural language process models 3x faster and run computer vision jobs 20x faster than the prior system. In a second phase later this year, the system will expand to 16,000 GPUs that Meta believes will deliver 5 exaflops of mixed precision AI performance. In addition to performance at scale, Meta cited extreme reliability, security, privacy, and flexibility to handle a wide range of AI models as its key criteria for the system. We continue to broaden the reach and ease the adoption of NVIDIA AI into vertical industries. Our ecosystem of NVIDIA certified systems expanded with Cisco and Hitachi Vantara, which joined Dell, Hewlett-Packard Enterprise, Inspur, Lenovo, and Supermicro, among other server manufacturers. We released version 1.1 of our NVIDIA AI enterprise software, allowing enterprises to run accelerated AI workloads on VMware vSphere, on mainstream IT infrastructure as well. And we expanded the number of system integrators qualified for NVIDIA AI Enterprise. Forrester Research, in its evaluation of enterprise AI infrastructure providers, recognized NVIDIA in the top category of leaders. An example of a partner that's helping to expand our reach into enterprise IT is Deloitte, a leading global consulting firm, which has built its Center for AI Computing on NVIDIA DGX SuperPODs. At CES, we extended our collaboration to AV development, leveraging our own robust AI infrastructure and Deloitte's team of 5,500 system integration developers, and 2,000 data scientists to architect solutions for truly intelligent transportation. Our networking products posted strong sequential and year-over-year growth, driven by exceptional demand across use cases ranging from cloud computing, supercomputing, and enterprise to storage.
Bullish or bearish on Nvidia?
Led growth, driven by adoption of our next generation products and higher speed deployments. While revenue was gated by supply, we anticipate improving capacity in coming quarters that should allow us to serve the significant customer demand we are seeing. Across the board, we are excited about the traction we are seeing with our new software business models, including Nvidia AI, Nvidia Omniverse, and Nvidia Drive. We are still early in the software revenue ramp. Our pipelines are building as customers across the industries seek to accelerate their pace of adoption and innovation with Nvidia. Now let me turn it back over to Jensen.
Yeah,
for some comments.
To put it into perspective, all earnings calls are like
Thanks,
this.
Colette.
Most of them are.
Last week,
they're
we
interesting because of the
terminated our
Q&A.
efforts to purchase ARM. When we entered into the transaction in September 2020, we believed it would accelerate ARM's focus on high-performance CPUs and help ARM expand into new markets, benefiting all ARM customers in the entire ecosystem. Like any combination of pioneers of important technologies, our proposed acquisition spurred questions from regulators worldwide. We appreciated the regulatory concerns. For over a year, we'd worked closely with SoftBank and ARM to explain our vision for ARM and reassure regulators that Nvidia would be a worthy steward of the ARM ecosystem. We gave it our best shot, but the headwinds were too strong, and we could not give regulators the comfort they needed to approve our deal. Nvidia is working to accelerate computing, and our overall strategy will continue as before. Our focus is accelerated computing. We are on track to launch our ARM-based Grace CPU, targeting giant AI and HPC workloads in the first half of next year. Our 20-year architectural license to ARM's IP allows us the full breadth and flexibility of options across technologies and markets. We will deliver on our 3-chip strategy across CPUs, GPUs, and DPUs. Whether x86 or ARM, we will use the best CPU for the job, and together with partners in the computer industry, offer the world's best computing platform to tackle the impactful challenges of our time. Back to you, Colette.
Thanks, Jensen. We're going to turn to our P&L and our outlook.
All right, so here's the P&L and outlook.
For the P&L, please refer to the CFO commentary published earlier today on our investor relations.
This is the interesting part.
Let me turn to the outlook for the first quarter of fiscal 2023. We expect sequential growth to be driven primarily by data center. Gaming will also contribute to growth. Revenue is expected to be $8.1 billion, plus or minus.
See, look at the
2%.
pop. There's the pop.
GAAP and non-GAAP gross margins are expected to be 65.2% and 67%, respectively, plus or minus 50 basis points. GAAP operating expenses are expected to be $3.55 billion, including the ARM write-off of $1.36 billion. Non-GAAP operating expenses are expected to be $1.6 billion. For the fiscal year, we expect to grow non-GAAP operating expenses at a similar percent as in fiscal 2022. GAAP and non-GAAP other income and expenses are both expected to be an expense of approximately $55 million, excluding gains and losses on non-affiliated investments. GAAP and non-GAAP tax rates are expected to be 11% and 13%, plus or minus 1%, excluding discrete items. Capital expenditures are expected to be approximately $350 million to $400 million. Further financial details are included in the CFO commentary and other information available on our IR website. In closing, let me highlight upcoming events for the financial community. We will be attending the Morgan Stanley Technology, Media, and Telecom Conference in person on
They're not
March
doing a
7th.
Q&A?
We will also be hosting a virtual Investor Day on March 22nd.
Generally, they do a
alongside
Q&A.
the GPU Technology Conference. This will follow Jensen's opening keynote, which we invite you to tune in for.
Are they doing a Q&A?
Our earnings call to discuss the results for our first quarter of fiscal 2023 is scheduled for Wednesday, May 25th.
Okay, May's
We will now open the call for questions.
All right, here's the Q&A.
Operator, will you please poll for questions?
Here's the really interesting part.
Thank you. At this time, I'd like to remind everyone, in order to ask a question, press star, then the number 1 on your telephone keypad. We'll pause for just a moment to compile the Q&A roster. As a reminder, please limit yourself to 1 question. We'll take our first question from Dashia Hari with Goldman Sachs & Company. Your line is open.
We're testing the previous closing price right now, guys. Look.
Great. Thank you so much for taking the question. Jensen and Colette, I wanted to ask about data center. Colette, based on your guidance, you're probably guiding data center growth on a year-over-year basis to accelerate into the April quarter. You talked about hyperscale cloud growing more than 2x and enterprise or your verticals growing strong double digits in the January quarter. Can you kind of speak to the drivers for April and perhaps speak to visibility into the second half of the fiscal year as well in data center? Thank you.
Sure.
I'll start and I'll turn it over to Jensen. For Q1, our guidance can include an acceleration of data center from where we left in terms of Q4. We will have growth across several of our market platforms within Q1, both data center, gaming, and probably a couple others. But yes, there is expected to be accelerated growth as we move into Q1. I'll turn it over to Jensen to talk about the drivers that we see for the quarter and also for the full year.
Yeah, we have several. First of all, Toshia, great to hear from you. We have several growth drivers in data centers. There's hyperscale, public cloud, enterprise core, and enterprise edge. We're seeing growth across the entire spectrum. There's several different use cases that are particularly exciting. Large language models, language understanding models, triggered by the invention of transformers, which is probably one of the most important AI models that's been invented in some time, and conversational AI used for customer service, chatbots, a whole bunch of customer service applications. It could be web-based.
What about Chappy?
Point of sale based. It could be cloud-based. Recommender systems, deep learning based recommender systems are making groundbreaking improvements, and cloud graphics. All of the work that we're doing in putting rendering or putting simulations up in the cloud, cloud gaming, Android cloud gaming, are really driving adoption in the cloud. And so many different use cases, but across all of the different platforms in data centers.
Next, we'll go to CJ Muse with Evercore ISI.
Yeah, good afternoon. Thank you for taking the question. I guess another question on the data center side. Curious if you can speak to supply constraints on the wafer side and whether that played a role in terms of capping revenues in the January quarter, and how you see that becoming less of a headwind for you as you proceed through the year.
Thanks, CJ, for the question. I'll start on the data center supply. As we discussed last quarter and discussed today, we still have some supply constraints across some of our businesses. Networking in the data center business has been supply constrained. We're improving every single day, and we do expect to improve supply each quarter as we enter into fiscal year 23 here. So that is probably the key area within our data center, but from time to time there can be other types of focus on data center. So I'll turn the rest of the question to Jensen in terms of how about the rest of the year as well.
Yeah, Colette captured it well. We are supply constrained. Our demand is greater than our supply. As you know, our data center product line consists of GPUs, NICs, Bluefield DPUs, quantum and spectrum switches, HGX, if you will, system component, meaning that the entire motherboard or the entire GPU board is delivered in combination because it's so complicated. And so we have products that span a broad reach of use cases for data centers, from training of AI models to inferencing at very large scale, to universal GPUs for public cloud, industry standard servers, commodity servers for enterprise use, and supercomputing systems that use InfiniBand and quantum switches. And so the application space is quite broad. We saw demand constraint pretty much across the entire range. Our operations team did a fantastic job this year, both in executing in all of these complicated products, but also in expanding our supply base. We expect supply to improve each and every quarter going forward. And this coming quarter, the Q1, the April quarter is based on guidance that Colette just made, is consistent with an increasing supply base. We expect to still be demand constrained, but our supply base is going to increase this quarter, this next quarter, and pretty substantially in the second half.
Next, we'll go to Joe Moore with Morgan Stanley.
Morgan Stanley.
Great, thank you. I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about Grace now that the strategy is kind of separated from the acquisition of ARM. What are your aspirations there? Is it going to be primarily oriented to the DGX and EGX systems business versus merchant chips? Just how are you thinking about that opportunity long term?
Yeah, thanks, Joe. We have multiple ARM projects going in the company, from connected from devices to robotics processors, such as the new Orin that's going into autonomous vehicles and robotic systems and industrial automation, robotics and such. Orin is doing incredibly well. It started production, and as we mentioned earlier, it's going to drive an inflection point starting in Q2, but accelerating through Q3 and the several years after, as we ramp into all of the electric cars and all of the robotic applications and robo-taxis and such. We also have ARM projects with the CPU that you mentioned, Grace. We have Grace, and we surely have the follow-ons to Grace, and you could expect us to do a lot of CPU developments around the ARM architecture. One of the things that's really developed nicely over the last couple of years is the success that ARM has seen in hyperscalers and data centers. And it's really accelerated and motivated them to accelerate the development of higher end CPUs. And so you're going to see a lot of exciting CPUs coming from us, and Grace is just the first example. You're going to see a whole bunch of them beyond that. But our strategy is accelerated computing. That's ultimately what we do for a living. We as you know, love it where there's any CPUs. If it's an x86 from any vendor, so long as we have a CPU, we could connect NVIDIA's platform to it and accelerate it for artificial intelligence or computer graphics, or robotics and such. And so we love to see the expansion of CPU footprints. And we're just thrilled that ARM is now growing into robotics and autonomous vehicles and cloud computing and supercomputing in all these different applications, and we intend to bring the full spectrum of NVIDIA's accelerated computing platform to NVIDIA ARM CPUs.
Okay.
Next, we'll go to John Pitzer with Credit Suisse.
Credit Suisse.
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. Thanks for letting me ask a question. Colette and Jensen, just on the inventory purchase obligations, I think this was the fourth quarter in a row where you've seen greater than 30% sequential growth, and it's the first quarter where that number is now eclipsing kind of your quarterly revenue guide. And so I guess I'm trying to figure out, to what extent is this just a reflection of how tight things are across the semi industry? To what extent is this a poker tell of kind of how bullish you are on future demand? And relative to your commentary that supply starts to get better throughout the year, should we expect that number to start to level off, or as the mix moves more to data center, more to longer cycle times, more complicated devices, should that number continue to grow?
The factors, the drivers that you mentioned in the supply chain, we expanded our supply chain footprint significantly this year to prepare us for both increased supply base and supply availability in each one of the quarters going forward, but also in preparation for some really exciting product launches. As mentioned, Orin ramping into autonomous vehicles is brand new. This is the inflection point of us growing into autonomous vehicles. This is going to be a very large business for us going forward. What it was already mentioned, Grace is a brand new product that has never been on NVIDIA's roadmap, and we already see great success with customers who love the architecture of it and desperately in need of the type of capability that Grace brings. And this should be a pretty exciting year for new product launches. And so we're preparing for all of that, laying the foundation for us to bring all those exciting products to the marketplace.
Next, we'll go to Tim Arcuri with you.
I'm going to say this. I don't pump anything.
Thank you very much. Obviously, there's a lot more talk from you about software, and I think it's still kind of a little bit of a black box for a lot of investors. And I know, Jensen, that you've talked about software as a medium to basically open up new markets. But I'm wondering maybe if you can sort of quantify how big the software licensing revenue is today, and maybe when you might start to break it out like you did data center, which really got the stock moving in a huge way. Thanks.
All right, guys.
NVIDIA is a software-driven business. Accelerated computing is a
guys.
Software-driven business.
All right.
It
I'll
starts
stick around.
Recognizing what domain of
All right,
applications
happy trading.
we
Y'all have a
want
good
to
night.
accelerate and can
I'm sure I'll see
accelerate,
y'all soon.
and then building an
Around.
entire stack from the processor to the system, to the system software, the acceleration engines, and potentially even the applications itself, like the software that we were mentioning earlier, NVIDIA Drive, NVIDIA AI, and NVIDIA Omniverse. These are applications that sit on top of system software and are really valuable to the marketplace. The way to think about our software licensing, so we've always been a software-driven business, but for the very first time, we have packaged licensable software available to customers. The way that we license software for NVIDIA AI Enterprise is per node of server. There's some 25 million servers that are installed in the world today in enterprises, not including clouds. We believe that every single server in the future will be running AI software. And we would like to offer an engine that enables enterprises to be able to use the most advanced, the most trusted, the most utilized AI engine in the world. And so that is essentially the target market, if you will, for NVIDIA AI. The NVIDIA Omniverse is targeting, is designed for creators contributing content to a virtual world and connected to robots that are contributing to content in a virtual world. And so it's based on connections. There are 40 million designers and creators around the world. There are going to be hundreds of millions of robots. Every single car will essentially be a robot someday. And those are connections that will be connected into a digital twin system like Omniverse. And those are, so the Omniverse business model is per connection per year. And in the case of NVIDIA Drive, we share the economics of the software that we deliver. And if it's AV software or parking software or cabin-based AI software, whatever the licensing is or whatever the service, if it's an upfront license, we share the economics of that. If it's a monthly service subscription, we share the economics of that. But basically, for the cars that we are part of, that we're developing, the end-to-end service, we will get the benefits of the economics of that for the entire life of the fleet of the car. And so you could imagine what 10 million cars with modern car lifetimes of 10 to 20 years, the economics and the market, the installed opportunity is quite high. And so our business opportunity is based on those factors. But our software business really started several years ago with virtual GPUs, but this year was when we really stepped it up and offered for the very first time NVIDIA AI Enterprise, Omniverse, and Drive. And so watch this spot. I think this is going to be a very significant business opportunity for us, and we look forward to reporting on it.
Next, we'll go to Vivek Arya with Bank of
We
America.
could comment on it, S says, but we don't want to interrupt the Q&A.
Jensen, in the past, you mentioned about a 10% or so adoption rate for AI among your customer base. I was hoping you would quantify where we are in that adoption curve, that you could kind of differentiate between the adoption differences between your hyperscale and enterprise customers. And then kind of related to that, is there an inorganic element to your growth now that you have over $20 billion of cash on the balance sheet? How are you planning to deploy that to kind of accelerate your growth also?
That's a good question. How are they going to use their $20 billion in cash to grow?
The applications for AI is unquestionably growing, and it's growing incredibly fast. Whether in enterprises and financial services, it could be fraud detection. In cases of consumer pointing businesses, customer service, conversational AI, what people are calling chatbots. But in the future, every website will have a chatbot. Every phone number will have a chatbot.
They already almost do. I mean, every website you go to has a chatbot now.
Will have a chatbot. And so customer service will be heavily
automated,
supported by artificial intelligence in the future. For sure. Almost every point of sales, I think, whether it's a fast foods or quick service, businesses are going to have chatbots and AI-based customer service. Retail checkouts will be supported by AI agents. And so all of this is made possible
or blockchain
by a couple of breakthroughs. Computer vision, of course, because the agents, the AIs have to make eye contact and recognize your posture and such, recognize speech, understand the context and what is being spoken about, and have a reasonable conversation with people so that you could provide good customer service. The ability to have human in the loop is one of the great things about an AI, much more so than a recording, which obviously is not intelligent, and therefore it's difficult to, if you will, call your manager or call somebody to provide services that the AI can't.
Nvidia
and
dropped.
So the number of different applications that have been enabled by natural language understanding in customer service in just the last couple of years has grown tremendously.
Yeah, that's kind of what I said, Liana. Short term, there's risk. Long term, it'll be fine.
In our in AI adoption. It's incredible how fast it's grown and how many different applications are now possible with AI. It pretty much says that almost all future software will be written with AI or by AI, and when it's done, it will be an AI. And we see it in all these different industries. And so I'm pretty certain we're in the early innings yet of AI, and this is going to be one of the largest industries of software that we have ever known.
Yeah,
with respect to,
I tend to agree with that. I think
capital,
Nvidia will grow far long term.
As you know, we had just terminated our ARM agreement. We have a regular capital strategy process, and we'll go through that, and we'll make the best judgment about how to use our capital in helping our growth and sustaining our growth and accelerating our growth, and we'll have all of those sensible conversations during those capital allocation meetings.
Right.
We're just delighted to have so much capital, and so.
Yeah, I bet y'all are, man. Oh, you're delighted to have 20 billion or whatever it was.
And next we'll go to Aaron
delighted.
Raker
Sheesh,
with Wells Fargo.
Throw me a little 5 sack over there, that 20
Thanks,
billion,
guys.
man.
This is Michael on behalf of Aaron. Can you guys talk about how the launch of the RTX 3050 is going so far, and maybe more broadly, your view of where we are in the Ampere product cycle on gaming? Thanks.
Yeah, thanks, Michael.
What's this 260/50
let's see,
level?
RTX is a unqualified home run. RTX completely reinvented modern computer graphics. It brought forward ray tracing about a decade earlier than anybody thought possible. The combination of RTX with artificial intelligence, which enabled this technology we call DLSS, is able to not only do a ton more computation using our shader processors, but also engage the powerful tensor core processors that we have in our GPUs to generate images, beautiful images. RTX is being adopted by just about every game developer on the planet now. It's being adopted by just about every design tool on the planet now. And if not for RTX, Omniverse wouldn't be possible. We wouldn't be able to do physically based path tracing and simulate
this guy,
sensors like radars and lidars and ultrasonics and of course cameras, and simulate these cameras physically and still be able to deliver the type of performance that we deliver. And so RTX was a game changer for the industry. It reset modern computer graphics, and it was an enabler for us to build an entire new platform called Omniverse. We're about I think about a third of the way through upgrading an install base that is growing.
Under 260.
You know that video games is now the world's largest gaming genre, and Steam over the last 2 years has grown by 50%. The number of concurrent players on Steam has grown tremendously. In just the last couple of years, a brand new game store from Epic came on, and it's already a multi-$100 million business. I think it's close to $1 billion. They're doing incredibly well. I'm so happy to see it. And so the overall gaming market is growing, and it's growing quite nicely. But the thing that in addition to resetting computer graphics for our entire install base, the growing of our install base, because gaming is growing, there are a couple of other growth dynamics that are associated with GeForce and RTX that's really quite brand new. One of them is hybrid work. This is a permanent condition, and we now are seeing across the board people who are designers and creators now have to set up essentially a new workstation or new home workstation design studio.
We're back
so
over
that
260s.
They could do their work at home. In addition, the creative economy, the digital economy, the creative economy is really, really doing fantastically, because everything has to be done in 3D now. Print ads are done in 3D. So 2D print is done in 3D. video is done in 3D, and live video, broadcast video. The millions of influencers now augment their broadcast with rich augmented reality and 3D graphics. And so 3D graphics is now not just for video games and 3D content, it's actually used now for all forms of digital content creation. And so RTX has all of these different drivers working behind it. And you know, we're definitely in the early innings of RTX.
Next, we'll go to Stacy Rasgon with Bernstein Research.
Hi, guys. Thanks for taking my question. So you said that the growth in the next quarter, it's about $450 million, give or take, driven by data center. Can you give us some feeling for how that growth is being driven by units versus pricing versus mix, and how those drivers might differ between gaming and data center, if at all?
For
Good
question.
It's really early in the quarter to determine, Stacy, our exact mix that we will have based on a unit and an ASP across the board. Our overall growth quarter over quarter going into Q1 will be driven by data center primarily. We will see a little bit of growth there in gaming. I think that's important to understand that even after Q4 and holiday, moving into Q1, we'll still probably see growth here in gaming, which is different in terms of what we've seen seasonally. And we'll probably have growth in automotive as well, sequentially between Q4 and Q1. There are still some areas that are supply constrained. We are working, again, to try and improve that for every quarter going forward. But that's how you should look at our into Q1, primarily from data center.
Next, we'll go to Harlan Sur.
They could do better, Detra, for sure.
Good afternoon. Congratulations on the solid results and execution. You know, the networking connectivity portfolio addition has been a pretty solid for the Nvidia team, especially in enabling scaling of your GPU systems, improving connectivity bottlenecks in yours and your customers' accelerated compute platforms. So in a year where cloud spending is growing 30%, you've got a strong networking upgrade cycle, which is good for your NIC products, and just continued overall good attach rates. If the team can unlock more supply, will the networking connectivity business grow in line or faster than the overall data center business this year? And then for Jensen, have you driven synergies between Mellanox's leadership in networking connectivity and, you know, for example, leveraging their capabilities for your internally developed NVLink connectivity and switching architectures?
Yes, absolutely. If not for the work that we did so closely with Mellanox, the scalability of DGX and DGX SuperPod and the research supercomputer that was just installed at Meta would just not be possible. The concepts of overlapping networking and compute, moving computing into the fabric, into the network. The work that we're doing with synchronous and precision timing so that we could create omniverse computers that obey the laws of physics and space-time. These things are just simply not possible. The work that we're doing to bring cloud-native secure multi-tenancy to supercomputing wouldn't have been possible. The number of innovations that are countless, and so I am so thrilled with the combination, and so thrilled with the work that the Mellanox team are doing with accelerated roadmaps. As a result of the combination, that we could leverage a much larger base of chip design. Bluefield's roadmap has been accelerated probably by about a year. The switch and the quantum switch and the spectrum switch, the SerDes are absolutely world-class, shared between Ethernet and InfiniBand and NVLink. Absolutely the best SerDes in the world. And so the list of opportunities or the list of combination benefits is really quite countless. And so I'm super thrilled with that.
They got to have some
with
conviction in their voice,
with
man.
respect to networking growth, we should be growing. If we weren't supply constrained, we should be growing faster than overall CSP growth. And the reason for that is twofold. The first is because the networking leadership position of Mellanox, Mellanox is highly heavyweight in the upper end of networking, where the adoption of higher speed networks tends to move, and so it's sensible that as new data centers are built, the first preference is to install it with higher speed networking than last generation networking, and Mellanox's networking technology is unambiguously world class.
Big drop.
The second reason is because the areas where the overall Nvidia is strong has to do with the areas that are growing quite fast, related to artificial intelligence or cloud AI and such, and so those different applications are growing faster than the core, and so it would be sensible that we have the opportunity as we expand our.
We lost the call. No, we didn't. I mean, they just dropped the call. What happened?
Next question will come from Matt Ramsey with Cowen.
Okay, we're back.
Yes, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Jensen, I maybe wanted to expand on some of the things that you were just speaking about in your last answer with respect to the data center business. It's not often, maybe if ever, that you have both x86 server vendors having new big platform upgrades in the same year, which will probably happen later this year. There's a lot going on there. DDR5, PCIe 5, some CXL stuff. I wonder if you could talk a bit about your data center business broadly and what you feel might be memory and I/O constrained currently that these systems might unlock for you, both in the cloud and enterprise side, but also in the DGX business. Thanks.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Interesting question.
Thanks, Matt. There are several bottlenecks, and let me just highlight some of them. One of the largest bottlenecks is memory speed, and memory speed. That's the reason why we use the fastest memories in the world, HBM and GDDR, et cetera, et cetera. We are the largest consumers of the fastest memories in the world, and not even by there's not with no close second that I know. And so our consumption of fast memories is important to the work that we do. The second is networking performance. It is the reason why we have the fastest networks. It is also the reason why we have the most fastest networks in any system. We will have, for example, 8 InfiniBand of the highest speeds connected right into a HGX or DGX server. And so the work that we do in GPU direct memory, RDMA, the work that we do with GPU direct storage, the work that we do with in-network computing and all reductions and moving data around inside a network is absolutely world class. This is an area that we are I am just incredibly proud. All of that is so that we could be less bottlenecked by the CPU. Remember, inside our DGX system is 1 CPU and 8 GPUs, and the fundamental goal is to offload as much as we can and utilize the resources that we have as much as we can. This year, we expect a transition in PCIe Gen 4 to Gen 5. We are constrained on Gen 4. We'll be constrained on Gen 5, but we're used to that, and that's something that we're very good at. And we'll continue to support Gen 4 well through next year, maybe well through the next couple of years, and all of the installed base of Gen 4 systems that are going to be all over the world. And we'll take advantage of Gen 5 as much as we can. But we have all kinds of new technologies and strategies to improve the throughput of systems and avert the bottlenecks that are there.
Yeah, that might be what's going on. Shane.
Our final question
All right, last
comes from
question.
the line of Raji Gill.
Bullish or bearish after this Q&A? Bullish or bearish?
Yes, thanks, and congrats on the good quarter and guide. Colette, question on the gross margin and to Jensen's point about really creating a software business driven by Omniverse, Drive, and Enterprise. When you're kind of contemplating, your margin profile over the next couple of years, how do we think about that? Is it really going to be driven by an increasing mix of software as a percentage of your revenue over time? Is there more margin, upside on the hardware side in terms of some of your segments? The software opportunity is very exciting, but I'm just curious how that would translate to your kind of more of a longer term margin profile. Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, thanks for the question on gross margin and the long term. When we think about the long term of gross margin, we have incorporated software in many of our platforms even today, meaning our high value platforms in data center, ProViz, other parts of our business have really helped us with our gross margin to this point, and we've done a really solid job of managing that and the growth over the years. But I believe these businesses will continue to be a growing opportunity for us, but now also with the ability to package up software and sell it separately. So as that scales with our enterprise customers in the data center and with our already procured deals, automotive, we've got a great opportunity in the future and be important margin to come. So we're going to work on that. We've set the stage for having been able to package it up, to be able to sell it separately, to create the business models, to create the partners that are helping us sell it. But yes, we do believe this will be a driver in the long term.
All right.
Thank you. I'll now turn it back over to Jensen Huang for closing remarks.
Okay, let's hear the closing remarks.
Thanks, everyone. The tremendous demand for our computing platforms, NVIDIA RTX, NVIDIA HPC, and NVIDIA AI, drove a great quarter, capping a record year. Our work propels advances in AI, digital biology, climate sciences, gaming, creative design to autonomous vehicles and robotics. It's some of today's most impactful fields. Our open computing platform, optimized across the full stack, architected for data center scale, is adopted by customers globally, from cloud to core to edge and robotics. I am proud of NVIDIA operations team as we made substantial strides in broadening our supply base to scale our company and better serve customer demand. And this year, we introduced new software business models with NVIDIA AI Enterprise, NVIDIA Omniverse, and NVIDIA Drive. NVIDIA Drive is a full stack end-to-end platform that serves the industry with AV chips, data center infrastructure for AI and simulation, mapping, and the autonomous driving application service. Our data center infrastructure is used by just about anybody building AVs, robotics, robo-taxis, shuttles, and trucks. EV companies have selected our Orin chip across the world. And our partnership with Mercedes-Benz and Jaguar Land Rover has opened up a new software and services business model for millions of cars for the life of the fleet. NVIDIA Omniverse is a world simulation engine that connects simulated digital worlds to the physical world. Omniverse is a digital twin, a simulation of the physical world. The system can be a building, a factory, a warehouse, a car, a fleet of cars, a robotics factory orchestrating a fleet of robots building cars that are themselves robotic. Today's internet is 2D and AI is in the cloud. The next phase of internet will be 3D and AI will be connected to the physical world. We created Omniverse to enable the next wave of AI, where AI and robotics touches our world. Omniverse can sound like science fiction, but there are real-world use cases today. Hundreds of companies are evaluating Omniverse. We can't wait to share more of our progress at next month's GTC. Learn about new chips, new computing platforms, new AI and robotic breakthroughs, and the new frontiers of Omniverse. Hear from the technologists of Deloitte, Epic Games, Mercedes-Benz, Microsoft, Pfizer, Sony, Visa, Walt Disney, Zoom, and more. This GTC promises to be our most exciting developers conference ever.
All right, you going to the
We
GTC?
had quite a year, yet nothing makes me more proud than the incredible people who have made NVIDIA one of the best companies to work for and the company where they do their life's work. We look forward to updating you on our progress next quarter. Thank you.
All right, so that's it, guys. We're gonna go ahead and close it. So yeah, Nvidia at least is a better name than Viacom. Viacom sounds like Skynet. They're about to take us over with robots. Okay, but let me know if you're bullish or bearish on Nvidia. Somebody asked how to do this in TOS. To do this in TOS, you just go to charts. If you want to draw a support or resistance line, these are self-drawn support or resistance lines. You just kind of click your scroller, and you can go to this money with the line under it, and then you just double click. You can, put this up here. You can put this down here. Also, guys, join our Discord. In our Discord, we have a script that I'll post on the main chat section of our Discord that automatically documents the previous closing price, which is a really relevant level that a lot of people use. Again, join our Discord. I'll post that script for Thinkorswim. It is a Thinkorswim script in the Discord if you guys want to. If you guys want to see it, here's the Discord link now. I hope to see you guys there tomorrow morning. We live stream every weekday morning for free right here on YouTube. And again, my goal here for this channel is to, create a trading resource where we don't sell anything. We don't charge a penny. We don't have exclusive content. Everything we put out there is free. I don't even claim to be an expert or a guru. I don't sell a course. I don't sell a service. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't even claim to be a good trader. It's just a resource for traders that's free without charging anything. So if you appreciate that, hit the subscribe button. We're going to day trade, swing trade, invest live at the opening bell tomorrow morning. We start the morning streams at 6:30 market time. We stream until like 10:30, 11 market time generally. And again, we do a little bit of all. We invest, we swing trade, we day trade, we scalp with a $30,000 account. And so I hope you'll join us then. Again, let me know if you're bullish or bearish on Nvidia. I know we have Walmart earnings tomorrow, so depending on how active the stream is, maybe we'll stream live the Walmart conference call or the earnings call for Walmart tomorrow as well. I know that's tomorrow. We got a bunch of other ones. Include anything you want listed in the chat. Again, it's just a resource for traders. It's not really beginner trading. To put it into perspective, I trade a $30,000 account. I've been trading for 4+ years. Everything, options, futures, contracts. I scalped the SPY, the QQQ with the $30,000 account at the open, and then we swing trade and DraftKings and invest in a lot of different things. So, hey, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and you'll get an alert. And again, join our Discord. We posted in the chat. Somebody accused me of pumping up penny stocks, which is absolutely ridiculous. I don't ever tell anybody to buy anything. And I tell most people that most penny stocks are terrible companies that will end up getting delisted and going to the pink sheets, if not just failing and going straight to zero. So I'm certainly not pumping up any penny stocks here. That was a hilarious comment. But good luck. Love you all. I hope to see most of you here tomorrow. We'll at least be commenting about the Nvidia pre-market action early in the morning before anybody else live streams. Generally, we start the live stream at like 6:30 in the morning. And so, yeah, be there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Good luck. Hit the subscribe button. And, yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Is AMC earnings tomorrow? I don't think so, right? Let me see. AMC earnings, I'm pretty sure not tomorrow. Pretty sure it's in March. Oh, yeah, it's March 9th for AMC earnings. So we'll definitely be streaming that one. But yeah, my time zone, I'm in Central Time Zone, but when I say 6:30, I mean Eastern. So I'm talking about 6:30 Eastern, which is 5:30 my time. I'm in Texas right now. So yeah, we're 5:30. It'll be 5:30 in the morning where I'm at, but it'll be 6:30 market time. Hit the subscribe button. You know you do it. Everybody's doing it. Peer pressure. Try it one time. See how it feels. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.